InstaResults is a course for beginners, intermediates, and expert users. It's a step-by-step online course that has strategies for growing your Instagram account.
This is Steve Atwell, and you're listening to Education Hackers. Today, I'm very happy to introduce to you Sue-b-Zimmerman, aka the Instagram gal. Sue is a master at Instagram for business. She teaches entrepreneurs, business execs, and marketing professionals how powerful Instagram for business can be. Sue even manages best-selling author Michael Port's new Instagram account. A Creative Live instructor, Sue is the founder of the online Instagram course InstaResults, the author of the #1 ebook Instagram Basics for Your Business, a speaker and business coach. Sue, welcome to the show. So for those that don't know, who is Michael Port and how did you end up managing his Instagram account?
So Michael Port has become a dear friend, but over a year and a half ago, I got my hands on his book called Book Yourself Solid. It was recommended to me by one of my dear friends, and she's like, you've got to know your who, what, and why. I purchased that book. I then got it on Audible so I could listen to it when I was walking my dog in the woods, and it has become a staple book that I have every person I coach read before I coach them. And it's such a profound book about really understanding what a red velvet rope policy client is, meaning who do you want to work with ideally, and find them and attract them so that when you do work, it is always with people that you like and that you feel good being with. So work doesn't feel like something you don't want to do, but something you just can't wait to do. So in the process of reading the book and connecting with my girlfriend, she actually is an elite Book Yourself Solid coach under Michael Port. He has a coaching program. And she visited me at my Cape house this 2 summers ago, and we got on a Skype call with Michael Port. So I could not believe I was like looking at this idol, this thought leader, and talking with him. It's kind of like how people are when they're with a celebrity, right? So I got connected to him and quickly ended up hiring him as my coach, as my business coach. And I had him as my coach for about 6 months. And through that process, learned a lot about how to position myself as an online expert and also how to become a better public speaker, because Michael has an amazing course that he did on Creative Live and a live event that he's doing soon called Heroic Public Speaker. And I also, he does not like social media, and he knows that I'm a rock star at Instagram, and he asked if I would help him create and manage his Instagram account. So we have this very nice business relationship and friendship.
Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds very mutually beneficial. You know, when I looked at your profile on Facebook or your website, I see these beautiful pictures of you smiling in every single photo. You are a very happy woman, aren't you? What makes you so happy?
Yeah, so it's funny that you said that. I mean, everyone says, oh my gosh, do you ever take a bad photo? Yeah, I am happy. Happy for so many reasons. I guess people that are listening need to understand that I've had a very happy upbringing, childhood, great parents, and, just have been blessed with growing up in a community in Andover, Massachusetts, which had given me a great education. And my parents have always supported what I chose to do with my life. They never kind of tried to mold me into something I wasn't. And I ended up getting a degree in nutrition at Simmons College, which I didn't end up using really as a career because my passion always was within my creative soul. I'm very artistic and creative and expressive visually. And as a young girl, I took private art lessons and was really quite good at all of that, but didn't pursue that as a degree in college. But I was passionately creating and painting clothing and just doing it as a hobby. And when the job I was offered fell through after college, I had moved to Virginia with my college roommate. I ended up doing just that, painting clothing. And the clothing turned into hand-painted boxer shorts. which this was the early 80s when boxer shorts were not yet worn as outerwear. So I am really good at seeing and knowing trends and opportunities. And so when I started painting boxer shorts and listening to people respond to them and seeing that they were selling so quickly, more so than all the other items I was selling, I knew I had an opportunity to turn it into a business. So I changed the name of my push cart from Color Me to Boxer Rebellion. And that was my first $1 million business. And I was 22 years old. So the smile has a lot to do with me growing up, like I said, in a very happy environment, and then always kind of following my passion from a very young age. And I know that so many people out there are not happy or confused or wish they were doing something different or just started their entrepreneurial journey. And yes, it can be stressful and difficult and hard and trying. But I've always been nimble and very opportunistic and a risk taker and thrive on all of that. So for me, waking up every day isn't about work. Look at Steve, you and I are on this podcast interview and it's a Sunday, and I don't deem my weekends as the holy grail, like don't work, because for me, work doesn't feel like something I don't want to be doing. It's something I always enjoy doing. And not that I don't take time for myself and have a lot of other hobbies and interests. It's just that when I have the opportunity to share my passion and purpose with others who I can inspire and hopefully empower, it has so much more meaning for me and the life that I'm living.
Yeah, it's interesting when you have come to that stage in life and you have been successful, you find that you spend a lot of time helping other people and you enjoy doing that. And like you said, work doesn't seem like work. It's just something you do and something you enjoy doing. I have to tell you, Sue, I haven't used Instagram as much as I should. I use Facebook a lot and a little bit of Twitter and Google Plus and YouTube. For those that don't know, I haven't used Instagram much. Tell us more about the platform and why people should be using it.
What everyone needs to understand is that I've been teaching social media for at least 6 years, but playing very small within my community here in Boston, Massachusetts. And I am actively on every single platform and have been for at least 8 years, mainly Facebook, because I have a retail store on the Cape. And so I knew that I needed to promote my business online. And so I understand how every platform works. And I know that it takes time and patience and effort to grow a community. And when I discovered that my teenage twin daughters were on Instagram, they were on their mobile devices. They were scrolling. They weren't looking. They weren't talking. They were scrolling. And I was like, what the heck are they doing scrolling? And they're like, Mom, we're on Instagram. Don't you dare get on it, because then you're going to be teaching it. So here I am today teaching it to the world and just loving every second of it. And the reason I love it so much is because it is the easiest place to grow an authentic community using a hashtag strategy and a posting strategy. And it is a digital scrapbook. And I am a visual learner and thinker and always have been. And what you need to understand is that 8 years ago, I was teaching the world how to use my double-sided tape in the scrapbook industry. So photos and embellishing them is just something that I am so passionate about, whether it's an analog photo and now a digital photo where you can embellish them with third-party apps and great filters that Instagram has. And people really connect to you through photos. I mean, you said it earlier that you notice how happy I am from my pictures, and people feel so connected to me before they even meet me or hear me speak at a conference. They know about me, my life, my dogs, my kids, where I like to vacation. So the relationship is formed often before the business is done. They know me. And it's so important today more than ever to be connecting to people authentically through relationships and giving value before you're even selling anything. And I really feel that Instagram is hands down the best platform where that occurs. And to the point where I have 7 different Instagram accounts that all serve a different purpose. And the traction I get every single day, and I really mean this, whether it's new followers or 20 new opt-ins to my email list or selling something, every single day there's a success on Instagram. And so that positive reinforcement brings me back for more, somewhat like a drug in that way. And when I ask people that I coach and that I teach and that come into my store on the Cape, why do you love Instagram? And this is the answer I get: because it's so much fun. And we all want to have fun doing what we love. So, I hear how exhausting people get trying to figure out Facebook, especially if you're not using the power editor to have ads. And people just don't always understand hashtags on Twitter, although that's part of what you need to know how to use Instagram. And Pinterest, once you go there, you kind of fall down the Pinterest hole and don't come out. Whereas Instagram, you can get in, you can create content, you can leave, come back and check your notifications, respond, comment, engage, and like I said, grow a community. And I have so many active communities on Instagram, all created from a hashtag hub, which we can talk about.
It does seem that we are becoming a very visual people. I know that I would rather see or hear something than sit down and read a traditional book, at least for me anyway. That's why I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I see people going to places like YouTube a lot. How is Instagram better, or how does Instagram complement YouTube and other social platforms?
Well, I have a YouTube channel that we use. We have a strategy there, where I teach Instagram. It's an Instagram playlist where I teach Instagram tips. Most of them are under 5-minute videos. And we share that content on Instagram and bring people back to YouTube to grow my subscribers there. And we've grown my YouTube channel over 1,000 subscribers since being on Instagram with a strategy. So you can cross promote from channel to channel. So if YouTube is your sandbox, you can use Instagram to drive traffic to YouTube. My good friend, Steve Dotto, who has his channel's called Dotto Tech. He teaches productivity and specifically Evernote tools and strategies. YouTube is where he has, I think, almost 50,000 subscribers now. And occasionally he'll come on over to Instagram to announce something that he's doing on YouTube. So you can use it as a marketing channel for your other platforms.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. Before we get into your online course, how do you relax? How do you take time away and you don't really think of work as work, but there must be something that you do just to unwind, or do you have any hobbies? Where do you spend most of your unwinding time?
I have a lot. This is a long list. So every day I walk my dog in the woods, and that's kind of my Zen place. Some people meditate, they do yoga. I go to the woods with my dog. I just love watching his wagging tail. Like, that makes me so happy. So that's kind of where I go just to unwind and just be one with nature. I also work out every day, or at least try to do something for myself, self-care, get manicures, I get massages. I have a massage membership, and I travel a lot with my husband. We cook. I like reading, and like you, I like listening to Audible books online. I'm extremely creative, so I go off on tangents where I'll be, somewhat just kind of expressive with markers and just kind of drawing and sketching, all kind of in the space of mind mapping for future opportunities within the business. I have 3 full-time employees and many part-time employees and a team, and they are all in their 20s. And so I love being around them because I learn from them all the time. And so, when you say, what do you do as a hobby, like just kind of being and observing with them, although it's in the spirit of the business, definitely kind of charges me, makes me just so much more grateful for what I'm growing my business and with these young entrepreneurs. And I do a lot of pro bono work with young entrepreneurs and teenagers who have ideas and just don't know where to start. And for me, I think this is my biggest give back / hobby, because I wish I had a mentor when I was 13 and I had my first business. So that's to name a few.
Yeah, that seems like a very zen place that you're at, where your personal life kind of merges into your work life and everything is very good. Yeah, that's a very nice place to be. I mean, you talk about going for long walks. I go for nice 10-kilometer walks through the woods myself, and it's a very nice thing to do to get those negative ions, get away from the electronics and computers and just relax. And it opens up your mind for other possibilities and ideas and so on, which is really good. So what was your passion before you created your online course? Was there one passion that you had before you created your course?
No, not one. Many. I mean, I am definitely that serial entrepreneur. I've had 18 businesses. So I taught art classes. I was in the craft business. I had multiple push carts all over the Boston area selling imprinted clothing. I ran a computer companion business out of my home where I taught moms in the area how to use social media. So passion for me is just purpose on steroids. I've always been passionate about what I've done. I've never been in a funk about what to do with my life or knowing what my life purpose is, because I live in the moment moment doing what I love. And I know that that's not normal. And I know that people struggle with having that kind of fulfilling life. And I've been really fortunate, and I know it. I know it more now than ever, especially since I coach so many people and I hear about their pain points and what they want out of life. And I know that I'm blessed because I wake up every day with the freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want. I have that. And I don't take it for granted. Instead, I try to give as much as I can to those that need.
Yeah, that's why you have a big smile on your face in every single photo.
There you go.
Let's talk about your online course, InstaResults, which is a nice play on the word Instagram, by the way. I like the way people come up with these names. If it was me, I'd probably come up with a lame name like Instantly Get Results or something less catchy. Give us a bird's eye view of your course, InstaResults. What do you cover? Who is it for? And why should people be signing up for it?
Yeah, well, first, let me comment on what you said about naming businesses. I love naming businesses. I've always had fun doing it, and I love it when I just nail the name. So I'm just going to tell the listeners some of them. So I started with Color Me, Boxer Rebellion, Only in America was one of my businesses. Groovy Girl Tees, that was another one. And Treasure It and From the Heart was when I taught art classes. And sue-b-do, which is my retail store. And that is because I fly around like a busy bee all the time. And my middle name is Beth. And then InstaResults, honestly, InstaResults.com, I think was taken. So we put a dash in it. And I knew that so much of what Instagram is the instant results that you get. And I said that earlier, right? You literally, if you use Instagram the right way, meaning having a posting strategy and specifically a hashtag strategy, you get results. Results meaning likes and comments and engagement. And so InstaResults, it didn't take me long to come up with that name. What took me some time, to be honest, is rebranding it, because the first logo we had was too Instagram-esque. And if you go to insta-results.com, you'll see my new logo, which is really contemporary and very cool. And I'm really excited about it because it's much more in the spirit of my total branding, which if you spent some time online checking me out, you know that I always have a nautical overtone. So with the nautical overtone comes my great tagline, which is anchor your brand with Instagram. And the word anchor here essentially means stake your claim and own it. And the more niche specific you can get on Instagram, the more success you will have. So InstaResults is a course for beginners, intermediates, and expert users. I mean, we've sold it to a lot of different people depending on where they're at with their Instagram journey. And it's a step-by-step online course that has strategies for growing your Instagram account. And we really teach you how to attract your ideal customer and essentially how to make more money with Instagram, because that's really what everyone's looking for. And, you know, people process visuals 60,000 times faster than text. Putting what you love to do in a picture or in a 15-second video, it's just easier for people's brains to process than a lot of text. I know that when I get an email in my inbox that is just so lengthy, I can't even get through it. I need to see a picture. I'm the person that when I get instructions to put something together, I have to look at the picture and just, I can put it together from looking at the picture. You know, so again, back to Instagram and processing visuals, it's so fun here. And in the course, basically, it's me teaching you as if you're looking over my shoulder. I am on pretty much every video. I had a green screen drop out behind me and you see my face and you see my iPhone as the tutorial. So it's as if you're with me learning, as if it's a private consult. And I think that's one of the things that makes my course so different than other courses out there. And there are other Instagram courses out there. And I had one before this and I wanted to just step up the bar and be the best Instagram course on the market. It's an investment. My course is $9.97. It's not a cheap course, but it's totally worth it. And I know everyone that's taken the course has had results. 5 different modules. The course is a little under 6 hours. We've created worksheets for each module to keep you accountable as you go through the course. We also have case study from real life success story businesses that are just like people listening. They're not from all the big brands. I really hate using big brands as examples because they get so much PR as it is. I like to celebrate the small businesses, the ones having success. And we have bonuses from social media experts in the industry in the course. There's 9 different bonuses that add value to the course. All have a different expertise from Google Plus to LinkedIn. Chris Brogan gave titles for blog posts. I have a Facebook expert and video expert.
I see a bunch of modules in this course, and we'll get into the modules because I'm going to ask you some questions about these modules actually. Maybe you can tell me before we get into the details of the course, you've obviously used Instagram for your business. How has it been successful for you?
My business has grown 300% in a year using Instagram. I attracted my ideal client from my hashtag strategy, which was using geotag strategies, Cape Cod, Wellesley. She also lives in my hometown, Wellesley, Massachusetts. She also has a house on the Cape. She's a real estate agent here in Wellesley, Mass. She found me from my hashtag strategy. She has become a $70,000 client because she's hired me as her business coach. She's hired me to do her social media strategies, and she uses my team to help implement a lot of what she needs for her real estate business.
That's great. I'm looking at your course and you have 5 different modules and you have a bunch of bonuses. You cover how to get started on Instagram, creating the content that captures attention, building your tribe and growing your account, increasing your reach and visibility online, utilizing tools to improve your Instagram strategy. And then you have over $2,000 worth of valuable bonuses on top. Because Instagram is very visual and you're creating visual content, do you have to be a bit of a designer?
Absolutely not, because there's so many third-party apps out there that help you become awesome at creating visual content. In fact, I'm pulling up my phone because this morning I put a post on my sue-b-zimmerman account. I took a screenshot of the apps on my phone, and I want to know what people's favorite apps are for their iPhone because I'm creating another course called Insta Academy, and I'm in charge of the iPhone contribution, and Jen Herman, who is going to be doing the Android. So I'm looking at that post that I just did. The 4 apps that I use religiously pretty much in every post are Camera Plus, Word Swag, probably my very favorite app on Instagram. The developer, Ben Wong, was on my stage at Creative Live for my first course, and he since has created Video Hands, which is a video app, which is amazing because you can use 15-second videos on Instagram. And InstaSize, if you want to resize a photo that doesn't fit into the square, is my favorite app for that. And then Diptyque allows you to upload multiple photos, so it gives it a scrapbook look and feel. And that I really like because if you have multiple photos from an event or a vacation and you don't want to flood your feed with the same content, you can put them all in one photo.
Yeah, those are nice apps. We'll have links to those in the show notes for this episode. Now, when you talk about building your tribe and growing your account, when you talk about tribe, and I hear this word a lot, you're not talking about an African jungle tribe. What do you mean by tribe?
Seth Godin talks about this best in his book. I loved his book. I think it's actually called Tribes. I read it a while ago. It's people who you attract who become part of your value system and community and have your back all the time. They give shout outs and praise to you because they believe in what the value of what you're sharing is worthy of sharing with their followers. They promote you via Twitter and just are very genuine about sharing who you are because they value what you do. So I totally respect and admire. I actually call them super fans more than tribes, but I do use that word occasionally. They're the people that I have earned their respect from by giving value. And they have met me either at a live event or came to my live event or heard me speak on a podcast and came over and constantly comment, engage, give shout out. That's my definition. Just someone who basically has your back and really values your content.
Yeah, I think that's something that we all could use. Building a tribe and connecting with a tribe, whether that's a Facebook group or something else. That's great. So increasing your reach and visibility online, we talked about this a little bit. You touched on it a little bit. You can use other platforms and share your content. So you mentioned a couple of applications there that you use. Now, you also talk about running giveaways. Is that something that you find really helps?
Yeah, let me just go back to the first thing you said. So on Instagram, one of the great reasons it's such an awesome tool is because you can share over to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Foursquare very easily just by pressing a button. So for people that struggle with being on multiple platforms, you can syndicate content over to others very quickly and easily. I'm not endorsing doing that for every post, but my good friend Ted Rubin, who you might know, Return on Relationships, totally pushes to every platform. In fact, we have a YouTube video that you can link up. Ted Rubin and I did, and we discussed our differences here. So it might work for somebody some way and someone a different way. And it's important to know that no way is right or wrong. To your question with contests, I use them relatively frequently. I've learned how to use them specifically to grow my followers on my sue-b-zimmerman account and the Instagram expert account. But prior to that, I was using it for my product-based businesses, sue-b-do, and I have an account called sue-b-jewels, which we're going to actually merge into sue-b-do. But sue-b-do.cape Cod is the name of my product-based business. On sue-b-jewels, we would give away free bracelets to get people to tag and use tag and give us # mentions, and we would give away free jewelry. And often in the process of giving away free jewelry, people that didn't win it still want it. So we would sell 4 to 6 pieces of what we gave away free. So essentially it became a loss leader for the contest, which was pretty cool. What I've been doing a lot of on my personal account is giving away my Instagram signs that you might see me holding. I've been giving away my CD. I have a CD that's Sue-B's Success Tips, and I've been giving away coaching sessions. So I did that for the month of December. On every Friday, I did a giveaway just to be in the spirit of giving. And I got a ton of engagement on all of the posts where I gave something away. Again, the people that didn't win what I gave away still wanted it. So I ended up selling it anyway. It's an interesting thing when you're giving something away and they're like, darn it, I didn't win it, but I still want it. How much is it? So people would send me a direct message, which we didn't even talk about, but there is all of that in the course as well. There's direct message strategies that you can use to grow your business on Instagram as well.
Instagram is primarily images. Now, when you're connecting to, say, YouTube, you can share on YouTube from Instagram. Is that correct?
No.
So that answers that question.
So, and it's not all images. I mean, a lot of people like to just do quotes. So words, they're turning inspirational quotes and thoughts into a graphic image, which becomes a picture, but it's not necessarily with a person in it. It could be text-based. And there's a lot of very successful accounts that just give inspiration. In fact, I do have one of those. It's called The Daily IG, the.daily.ig. And on that account, I celebrate speakers, authors, entrepreneurs, most of whom I've met in person, and I give shout outs to quotes that they've made that I want to turn into a graphic using one of my favorite apps, which is WordSwag. So that's a great account to check out if you need some words of inspiration from great thought leaders.
Yeah, one of the things that is really useful when you're pushing content out, say to Twitter or to other platforms, is statistics to see how many people have actually viewed it or clicked on your links and so on. What do you use to track your Instagram posts?
So we create custom bit.lys so that we can track all engagement from Instagram. Some people set up, have Google Analytics on their website so they know what traffic has come over from Instagram. We switch up the URL frequently, so we want to track the bit.lys because whether I'm doing a webinar or selling my course or trying to drive traffic to my YouTube channel, we'll switch out that bit.ly. So we track it that way.
And Canva is a great tool as well. How do you find Canva?
Well, I've known Canva for a long time, since their inception. I've been a beta tester, and when I was out in Sydney at Brendan Bouchard's Experts Academy, I made a visit to their office and met the owners and hung out with them, and I have a very tight, close relationship with them. They were a sponsor for my live event. I love Canva, and because it's free and a lot of people can't afford a graphic team, you can create any graphic for any of your social platforms, not just Instagram. But what's really cool is that Canva has now integrated with my favorite scheduling tool, which is Schedulegram. So you can create a Canva post and schedule it to Schedulegram Instagram and then schedule your Instagram post. So if you're someone that likes to sit down on a Sunday and curate content for the week, you can do it in one sitting. I do not use Instagram that way because my brain can do it on the fly any day. I don't plan my posts ever. I just know what my followers would enjoy seeing based on what they tell me. So I know when I share a post with a quote, I can get engagement on that. And it's all based on the description and the call to action and the way that I'm wording the post. I'll give you an example, not to take you off topic with Canva. I'll circle back, but I think it's important for people to hear this. Often I'll put text overlay on a picture of me. I'm finding that people definitely connect to me. And by putting my face in the content gets a lot of traction. And I'm not suggesting this to everyone starting out because people might not know who you are, but when you put text overlay on top of it, you can get a lot of traction. So one of my recent posts, I put this quote: "The energy you'll spend focusing on someone else's life is better spent working on your own." And that's from the book #Girl Boss, which is an amazing book. I got 164 likes and 57 comments within a day, which is a lot for me. And probably a lot for a lot of your listeners. And these are authentic likes. These are not bots. These are not people coming over because I'm begging for a follow or a shout out. These are from my tribe, from my super fans. I think about, what is it about this post that got so much engagement? Is it the fact that I'm in the picture, or is it the fact that the quote's there? And I really think it's a combination of both. So for those of you that are going to be using Canva, which is a great graphic tool, just remember you want to humanize your brand and bring your face into the forefront of whatever graphics that you're creating. I truly believe, and this is my theory, that the more people can see you in your element doing what you love, the more connected they're going to be to your business. And this has been so much of the secret sauce of my success over the past year and a half, is really being accessible so that people can connect to me and not putting up a wall that I'm just untouchable because I'm an online expert and a speaker and, cited in blog posts. And I want people to know that you can totally reach out to me and I will be there for you. And I really think that has a lot to do with my authenticity and my drive to help others.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that particular quote because I did see that online. You're right. I mean, you can personalize yourself, with your quotes. You can personalize your quotes and you get more likes, you get more shares, people connect with you better. I think that is, you're right. That is one thing that really appeals to people when they're trying to connect with you. It's interesting. You have a bunch of bonuses in your course. You have over $2,000 in valuable bonuses, and you have Viveka von Rosen.
So I'll go through this just because I want everyone to know that these are not just bonuses that I threw into the course to bring extra value. I have very close relationships with every single one of these online experts, and that was my criteria. I wanted people to know that I endorse their course and their brilliance, and that I knew that they would give value to my community. So Viveka von Rosen is actually cited as one of the top Forbes online experts. She is a B2B LinkedIn guru and actually helped me kind of rework my LinkedIn profile so that if you search Instagram expert on LinkedIn, guess who comes up number one? So Viveka, I thought I had a good profile until I sat down with Viveka, and she's just great positive energy, and she speaks all around the world teaching LinkedIn. Steve Dotto, I mentioned earlier, and he is the Evernote king. And if you don't use Evernote, I suggest that you definitely download the app, get it on your desktop. It is where you can organize your whole friggin' life and where you can keep your hashtags so that you always have them at your fingertips. And then Nick Unsworth gave an amazing bonus for anyone listening that wants to launch a product online. He gave his product launch on fire course, and he worked with me for a period of time, helping me with my online course. And I was a part of his virtual summit where he had Gary Vaynerchuk and Brian Tracy and Chris Ducker. Chris is amazing. Some really great people in his virtual summit. And it's all because Nick saw value in the way I taught Instagram, and I worked with him and his team. And he's like, I want you to be a part of my virtual summit. You're amazing. So you give and you get, and you expand your community, you expand your tribe, you connect to others who you value. And of course, Chris Brogan, he's here locally next to me in the Boston area. He's become a dear friend and someone who I admire so much because he's so real and raw and brilliant and so giving. And he gave topics for blogs. A lot of people struggle with what should my blog topic be. And Chris, I have him in my inbox every day.
You actually have a year's worth of blog topics from him as a bonus.
Yes. The thing is, if you ask the right people and they see that you're asking, because it's not like, can I have this and I have nothing for you? I've created relationships with all these amazing people first and foremost before asking logins for the course. Martin Shervington is the Google Plus guy. I met him when I spoke out at Social Media Marketing World 2014 during a networking event, and he and I have become very quick, fast friends. I embraced Google Plus. He embraced Instagram, and we constantly check in to see where each one of us is with our new platforms. And I definitely enjoying Google Plus. Great community there as well. And then Lou Bertone, he is a video marketing ninja, and he studied under Michael Port and went through Michael Port's Book Yourself Solid coaching program. See how this all works? I mean, I met Lou through Mike. And then Nathan Latka is probably the smartest, youngest entrepreneur I know. He's 25 years old. He owns Heyo, Heyo, and he contributed some really great ideas on how you can double your list with a Facebook contest. So for those of you that are struggling with Facebook contests, it's a great course. And then Keith Griffiths, who you might not know, but he's amazing at content creation. He lives close by as well.
Actually, I had Keith on the show in a previous episode.
Oh, that's great. He and I created a video called The 7 Strategic Steps to Grow Your Business with Instagram. It's an hour course that we did together, and he's actually coaching me through the process of creating my book, Get Your Hashtag On, because Keith is so good at writing and thought process of what would the user want to experience when they read your book. So that's Keith. And then, of course, Kim Garst is a dear friend of mine. She was on my Creative Live course. I just came back from her Social Boom Live event. She and I are creating a Twitter, Instagram course together this year, and she contributed Twitter for Profit. So she is a phenomenal on Twitter. Yeah, and those are all the courses that have a dollar amount. But what I want everyone listening to understand, in this course, I interviewed 14 leading experts in the industry who use Instagram, but not necessarily for their business, but they all see value in it personally because it helps humanize their brand. So these are interviews that are 20 to 30 minutes long that I did with people such as Joel Comm and Brian Kramer and Ian Cleary, the owner of Razor Social. I got Tori Johnson. I don't know if you know Tori Johnson, but she every Thursday does the daily deals on Good Morning America. And she talked about Instagram and how she uses it to find deals that she's going to be featuring, or she uses it to check out companies that are pitching her to see how they are ethically on Instagram and how they respond. So it's a great place to do market research, even if you're not going to use it for business. And so you hear them talk about it that way as well. And do you know Chris Cerrone? He has a podcast. Chris was one of my interviews, and I love him. He's amazing. One of my best interviews ever on a podcast. I think part of it's because I just love his voice. He's got such a radio voice, doesn't he? And then Simple Green Smoothies, Jada Selzner, who is rocking it out on Instagram. She has over 350,000 followers. She told us how she used Instagram to grow that following. And then you might know Jessica Kufferman. She is the podcast owner of Jess Lady Biz on Instagram, and she gave an interview. And then my producer over at Creative Live, Justin Barker, talked about Instagram. Tyson Webb, another podcaster. And of course, I had to get Chris Brogan on there to give his little 2 cents. It's very entertaining to listen to Chris. And then Vivica came back on to talk about Instagram as well, because she was not using it at all until she really met me. And because she's a LinkedIn expert, right? So she's like, Instagram? Really? I'm like, okay, Vivica, you help me with LinkedIn. I'm going to help you with Instagram, and you're going to fall in love with it. So I just want to say that these interviews are, in my mind, are priceless because you are hearing it from people that don't necessarily have a business strategy, but see the value, and they talk about the value. And it's a nice change than just listening to me the whole time.
Yeah, that seems like an amazing set of interviews interviews there with some amazing people. That's great. And you offer that as part of the bonus for this course, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, Steve, I really wanted people to understand that there's so much more to me teaching Instagram in a course. It's other people talking about the value, because I think when someone that buys the course just might strike a chord from the interview that I did with Tori Johnson more than anything else, and they might say, "Oh my goodness, this whole course was worth the $1,000 because of these interviews. This has changed my business." So we were trying to figure out how to make it worth all of that and then some. And so I'm really big on over delivering and giving value. And we have a 30-day guarantee money back. We haven't had anybody return it yet, which is great. We've sold over 215 courses in 2 months since we've launched it, which is pretty darn cool. Yeah, so I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I'm actually going to steal a couple of questions from your website. And if somebody's not very technical, is your program difficult to use?
Not at all, because we walk people through everything. It's really just pushing buttons, starting play, watching the video, and then you can stop the video, watch it, and take notes. And again, we have our worksheets to follow along.
That's good to know, because there are a lot of business people that not necessarily very techy.
Right. The one question that we get asked frequently is, "I forgot my password. Can you send it again?" So I want to say to everyone right here, if you buy the course, put it in Evernote.
So somebody who's not good with Facebook or Twitter, people keep telling them that they need to use a social media platform. Is Instagram difficult to learn?
No, it's the easiest platform to learn. And again, I want to put that word fun into it, because if you're not having fun, you shouldn't do it. And it took me a good year, honestly, Steve, to be proficient at Twitter. And it took me probably 3 years to understand how to market on Facebook through my business page. And now we're really kicking butt with Facebook ads. But Instagram, there's a lot of just natural intuition with sharing there.
So let's assume I'm one of your students and I've just purchased your course. I don't know much about Instagram. What would you say would be the first thing, my first step that you would recommend that I do with Instagram?
Have a hashtag strategy. And we go over this deep in the course, but I also have a Get Your Hashtag On handbook that's $39 that we sell, where you need to understand what hashtags people are searching to find you. And I don't recommend the popular ones that you can find on the web, if you Google it. We spent hours and hours and hours of creating hashtags for 35 different industries that are the correct ones to use to attract your ideal follower. And they don't include hashtags like follow for follow or shout out for shout out or love or, the popular ones, because everyone's using the popular ones. They move so quickly that your eyeballs don't get on them, and you're not attracting your ideal follower. You're just getting likes, and it's not a popularity contest. It's you want to attract ideal followers, not just followers.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you have to have that niche market that you're trying to target, and it's better to have the right people than have a lot of people. So what was the biggest mistake you made when you created your course?
So InstaResults, this is the second iteration of the course. The mistake was the first time we launched it was partnering with the wrong affiliates to help us sell it. And this time we have about 30 affiliates, all who I have very close relationships with, who have lists that match up to mine. So, that's kind of after the course was created. You're probably thinking about more like the course itself. We knew what software to use. We invested in Wistia. We host our videos on Wistia, which is software, which we switched over to. So our videos run much more smoothly and faster. And we upgraded all the graphics. I don't want to call anything a mistake. I would say improvements. And there's always ways to improve, right?
That's fine. I just wanted to get an idea of what you could have improved. Looking back now, maybe it was a process or a tool or something that you could have done better.
So, well, this time it took us 6 months to put together this kick-ass course. And we thought through the details of every single pain point or every single wish that we knew people wanted to have in the course. And we have a very active Facebook group, which is exclusive to the members that buy the course. Again, a great community. Yeah, I think that we did due diligence, and I have an amazing team that really understands processing and systems and structure. I'm from the school of progress, not perfection. So if you see a spelling mistake in my sales sheet, in my sales page, people bring it to my attention all the time. I'm like, thanks, and I fix it. I don't think that cites anything bad on my character. I just want people to know that I'm not a great writer. I do have a team and we do have people look at it, but it's progress, not perfection. And I think a lot of people get stuck up on perfection, and I've never been that person.
Yeah, I think that's so true. People do get stuck up on perfection. That holds them back from actually producing something. So when you created this course, it took you 6 months or so to create the course. When did you think that it was ready for prime time and the public eye? When did you feel that?
Oh, when all the videos were edited and it was so exciting to see them all in Wistia. Yeah. And we did our launch from there. We did our launch after we knew the graphics were perfect. We checked it. We had a goal of when we wanted to launch. I think we pushed it back 2 weeks. We needed a little bit more time editing a few videos because they weren't quite right, or I can't even begin to tell you how many hours and hours and hours I spent recording videos at my house on the Cape. My butt was so sore. I think I sat in the chair. I think I sat in the chair for like 8 to 10 hours. I'm not kidding you. I'm like, and every time I did the video, I did get my hair done or my makeup done, or I had to think about what I wore because I'm on the video. So it's going to be evergreen and you want it to look good and the lighting needs to be good. And so the most challenging part was really having my face in the video. And I think, again, it goes back to me being there with you and the added value of that, because I charge $500 an hour for a consult. So I think people feeling like I'm right there by their side just gave the course all that much more value.
And you mentioned that you use Wistia to store all the videos. Where are you actually hosting your course itself?
We use Entreport as our CRM, and it's also our membership software and affiliate management. And Wistia is where we host the videos. Was
there a reason you went that route as opposed to, say, putting the course on Udemy or some other platform?
We are going to be creating some courses for Udemy. Udemy has low-end price points for courses. That's not, I think that's where people go to quickly learn something. I recently found out about Udemy, to be honest. After creating 2 Creative Live courses, which are 18 hours each, by the way. I do have a strategy to put up some course material on Udemy, but just really niche down, like how to use direct messaging on Instagram. I don't want it to be my whole course because I don't want to dilute what I've created. And from researching what's on Udemy, they're like $10 each. And that's just not, that's not where my ideal client is.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've talked to various people, and one of the attractions to Udemy was the marketing and the huge number of students that they potentially could bring to a course. And on the other side, the flip side is that your $300 or $500 course may be on sale for $10.
Yeah, I don't want to dilute the value. And I know that my course is worth $1,000. And because that is an investment, we have payment plans set up for people if they need them to make it affordable. And I'm not going to dilute the price because that's what other people are doing. I wanted to set the bar at the highest price, knowing that I could give the highest value.
There's no problem with that. When you're providing really good value and you want to use your own platform and charge a higher price, there's no issue or problem with that. That is entirely up to you, what you want to do. So how do you market your course? What's been most successful?
We have a huge content strategy. We market it, we build trust through free content on SlideShare, on YouTube. I have a Facebook group called InstaResults. Anyone can join. There's over 3,300 members. Not everyone can afford my course, but everyone can learn something from me. So the more I put myself out there and they trust me, they know me, they like me, their friend might be willing to invest, and they will be talking about me when someone says, who do you recommend? What course do you recommend for Instagram? So I'm not selling, I'm building relationships and trust every single day. I have a Twitter strategy. I have, like I said, a YouTube strategy where we have that playlist. We upload a new video once a week. We are actively using Facebook now, and we just started with our Facebook ads. We're having huge success with the ads. I'm not saying success is sales to the course, but I'm doing a webinar and we're running ads on Facebook because I want to attract people I don't know to this particular webinar. And in a day and a half, I got 200 people to sign up for the webinar. And we also got 400 new opt-ins to my email list. So that to me is success. But our content calendar and scheduling is what we pride ourselves on. We have a newsletter once a week week if anyone opts into my newsletter on my website, sue-b-zimmerman.com. Currently, you'll get the 7 things not to do on Instagram, but I'm actually redoing my website and we're going to put together my strategy handbook as an opt-in soon. So I believe the more value you can give, the more money you make in the long run.
Looking back, what was the one tool, software or hardware, that you absolutely needed to create your online course?
Ontraport, for sure. I mean, that's the back end of everything where we track every single, where everyone came from. Everybody's tagged. It's very similar to Infusionsoft. It's $2.99 a month. It's an investment, but it is the backbone of how we look at data.
And why did you choose that particular tool over the other one?
Because first of all, they have great customer service, and it was easier to learn and jump in and start doing, in our opinion, than Infusionsoft.
Yeah, I know a lot of people use Infusionsoft, and the problem that I ran into with Infusionsoft, and I've noticed this with a few other people, is that say you want to integrate a forum software, it doesn't let you easily do that. It doesn't let you easily integrate some of the other tools into that particular platform. So it's interesting. I'm always interested in knowing what other people are using.
Well, I am investing. Morgan, who is 22, she runs the back end of my company. She is getting her master's in systems management. She has an undergrad in systems engineering. I'm sending her to California to get certified in Ontraport this month, in fact, because we are now offering services for other people's businesses to help them launch their business online because we know how to do it so well. So that's become an opportunity for us within our company as a revenue stream to now coach and help other people that want a team that they can trust to help launch their course or idea. So knowing that that's a great revenue stream for us, I wanted to invest in having Morgan become certified. So she's going out there, which is really exciting.
That's great. I mean, you can build on top of that and provide more courses and more services. That's excellent. So how do you support your course members?
Yeah. So again, we have a exclusive Facebook group where all questions get answered. I have a team that goes in there to make sure they do. And if they can't answer them, they bring it to my attention. Occasionally, I will let myself be accessible to questions. When people bought the course on the launch, as part of a bonus, I did 5 monthly coaching calls for everyone that bought it. So if anyone had any questions, they could ask them through a live chat, which was really helpful for me. A lot of people ask questions on the platform, right on Instagram, and I answer them. They don't have to buy my course for me to answer questions. I will answer anyone's question. If they're asking me how I do something a certain way, and I don't want to give away the secret that's in the course, I will say, this is something I cover in the course. But for the most part, I try to answer every question.
Yeah, you can't be providing support in that way. There'll be too many people that you'll be trying to answer questions for. So, Sue, take a few minutes and offer your best, most practical advice to anyone thinking of creating their first online course or training.
Yeah, so it's totally overwhelming, and so many people just have no idea where to start. I think the technology really tricks up a lot of people. At least it did for me, because I came into this online space. You have to understand, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, a fierce entrepreneur that's very nimble, very determined, and I've always been successful. And I'm not measuring success by money, because for me, success means so much more than that, especially having 3 daughters and being a mentor as a mother that wakes up every day doing what she loves. I went to Brendan Bouchard's Experts Academy out in California, not even knowing. 2 years ago, I did not even know about online selling and affiliates, and that you could actually make money in your sleep. Like, what the heck was that? I was always the entrepreneur that was selling something in a location-based business. So when I left there and had this big aha moment, because everyone in the room, no one really knew how to Instagram except me. And there was 800 people in that room at Experts Academy in May 2013. That's when I realized I've got to teach this to the world. And so I asked a lot of people there, how the heck do you put on an online course? And I got quotes from $5,000 to $12,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what it costs for you to coach me to do this? I'm like, I'm going to figure this out for myself. I'm not going to pay you to do that. So again, I'm very resourceful, and I know how to connect to all the right people. And I also also have the money to invest in attending conferences and empowering myself. And I really think people need to understand that you need a good $10,000 in my mind to launch an online course. And that $10,000 means a website, a brand, a logo, a business coach, the software, and a coach that's going to help you get to where you want to go. Unless you have all the time in the world. And I'm impatient. If I want something, I want it done now. Like, I don't want to be waiting. And that's part of the reason I was able to move so quickly, is because I had the means and the resources to make it happen. So my advice is that there is a lot of free information out there, and you just have to know who you can trust. So align yourself with people that you can trust, that aren't leading with selling you something first, but really leading with wanting to help you. And there are people like that out there. You just have to find them. And if you can't find them, you can message me and I can tell you who they are. So I think that the tech aspect of launching, unless that's your background, for me, selling comes so naturally. I love selling stuff I believe in. Like, that's never been a challenge. Marketing has never been a challenge. I'm very good at the graphics. I have a graphic team. I just know how I want things to look, and I always am consistent in my branding. You mentioned you looked at me on Facebook and other platforms. And if you see me anywhere, it all matches up. So my branding resonates. Part of the reason I'm like so in love with what I'm doing is every day I'm learning something new. And I'm not kidding you, whether it's how to set my Skype preferences so that you can hear me through my new Yeti mic, or setting up my green screen, or my new lights for my videos. There's always a new tool. There's always new software. There's always new ways to improve. And that, my friends, is life, like learning and growing. And that's kind of what really makes me happy.
We have come to the end of the show right now. So I would like to thank you. I could ask you tons more questions, but I think it's best if I left a link to your course in the show notes so people can visit your website and check it out for themselves. Thank you very much for being an amazing guest on the show and for sharing such valuable insights and advice. It has been a real pleasure speaking with you. Where can people connect with you online?
So I'm one of those lucky few that have my name everywhere. Sue-b-Zimmerman, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my website. And let us know that you came over from this interview by tagging me at Sue-b-Zimmerman at the Instagram expert, because I want to know, I love knowing how my new followers found me. And Steve, I'm sure you have an awesome community that listens to these interviews, and it's always great to give credit back to you because you are essentially helping me grow my community through this interview.
If you enjoyed this episode, just subscribe to the podcast and future episodes will be downloaded automatically for you. Check out the show notes at educationhackers.com to get links to resources we talked about in this episode. See you next time.